my dance, make it hurt.
Hello, welcome to the Pitchy Podcast. We're your hosts, James
and Stephanie.
Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we are passionate about good music and a great vocal. We will use the vehicle of NBC's The Voice to give you our takes on each contestant. We'll give you our feedback on their voice and their overall performance. Here on the Pitchy Podcast.
Hey!
We'll be the 100 with our feedback and critique on each contestant's vocal and overall performance, but what we're never here to do is come for anyone's character or come for any contestant as a human being. Now, we may come off a little pitchy at times, if you know what I mean, but we'll always do our best to speak our truths in love, kindness, and respect. And wow, with that, here we are. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
It sure is.
I was thinking of another song, but then that one popped in my head. And I think it's apropos because we are wrapping up, you all, season 24 of The Voice. Stephanie and I think, have been in denial that this day would come.
Yeah.
We haven't even really talked about this day coming.
Right.
Because we've enjoyed ourselves so much.
It's true.
This time.
I don't want to talk about it.
We enjoy ourselves every time.
Yes.
But it just, the joy to me, it doesn't diminish. Like, it just keeps getting growing and growing. As to why we do what we do, because we are just still having a blast. And the second that Stephanie and I don't have a blast is probably the second we stop this podcast.
It's a wrap.
So we're still having a good time. We hope you're having a good time.
Yes.
And we got a few things to discuss. Last night was the grand finale, the results episode of season 24. And wow. Was it not a star-studded event?
It sure was.
With all, as my mother would say, the glitz and glamour of live television, and it did not disappoint.
It sure did not.
Stephanie,
yes.
We got a few things to discuss as to how the night went, and then we got some business to discuss.
Yes, absolutely. So the episode tricked me. Okay, it tricked me. Because I'm used to either on Tuesday night having the hour of the previous performances from Monday night and then having an hour of whatever the new content is going to be. So at 8:00, they had a replay of Monday night's episode of the performances. So I'm thinking, okay, this is only going to be an hour of old and an hour of new. No, they had us staying up till 11, but it was worth it. I should have known that they were going to take the whole prime time block.
I always say we have realized we are real people with real lives. Okay.
Yes.
So we were kind of a little deflated. If we're keeping it 100 and totally transparent with you, we were like, okay, it's going to be a marathon night for us because we got to stay up till 11 o'clock because you know what? We got kids and we got lives. And we got to get up early the next day and pick relatives up from the airport who are coming in from the holidays.
Lord.
Red Eye from LA. Oh. Nope, that's not me. But
that's not your life, is it? Having to take kids to school and pack them up in cold weather. That's not my life. No.
But nonetheless, like Stephanie said, it was worth it.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. How did the night start off for us?
So it was a bunch of performances and some skits and some things. There were performances from the coaches and the contestants. There were also performances from guest artists. So what I'll do first is I'll just run through quickly who some of our guest artists were from last night. So the first guest artists, we can't even really call them guests because they are going to be our new coaches, our new coaching pair for season 25. We had Dan and Shay, and they sang their new hit single, Bigger Houses, which was really cool because let me tell you.
So y'all better sit on a little house.
Y'all better sit on a little house. I said production. Art department. Yes, the art department and the production budget has gone way up, especially since last season. Like they got their funds in and they used them. Yes, they got their coin in and they spent their coin expeditiously on each and every set that we saw last night. So that was a really cool performance, really cool staging, and they sounded really great. Cannot wait to see them in season 25, because the little bit that we did get to see when Coach Niall had to step away, and they did some of the mentoring and coaching of Niall's contestants. It was really fantastic, the
Oh
feedback
yeah,
that they
they were
had.
excellent. Do we
Absolutely.
know who they're replacing?
So for season 25, we're going to have Dan and Shay. We're going to have Reba. We're going to have John. And we're going to have Chance.
Wow. So Gwen's gone
Yes.
and Niall's
Niall.
gone.
Yes.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a really great group.
Yeah.
Dan
I'm
and
looking
Shay have
forward to seeing.
already really shown their coaching chops being
Yes.
superb.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm excited.
Yes. So another performance was by Keith Urban. He sang his song Blue Ain't Your Color, and that was a really cool setup. He did that song completely on his own, just him singing with an electric guitar. It was really, really cool. We had Teddy.
Keith is always tried and true. Like he is the consummate seasoned performer. Like he's been in the game for a really long time.
Yes.
And it's like, you know what? Will always deliver, is a great coach, or has
Yes.
been a great coach on another competing
Yes.
show.
Yes.
And I'm a fan.
Yes. He sounded
And
great.
married to a beautiful award-winning actress.
That's right. That's right. He is winning. He is winning at life. Then we had Teddy Swims, and he sang
my gosh.
He sang Lose Control, which we heard from Mara this season. Come on, White Suit. Come on, Fire. Come on,
Did
Set.
Teddy have a grill?
I wasn't looking.
Teddy had a grill. Did you catch the grill?
A little bit on the bottom.
I said, come on, Georgia boy. He is Georgia through and
through and through.
The dirty,
Absolutely.
dirty.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Teddy sang his behind off.
As usual.
Stephanie, I know I sang it to you, and I'm going off, not script, but I'm going off a little bit. Y'all need to see, he was on Kelly Clarkson, speaking of voice coaches, the other day, and Kelly backed him up.
Yes.
On it was fire.
Fire.
So
absolutely.
go watch the clip where he sang that on Kelly Clarkson's show, and she sang that his background.
Yes, absolutely phenomenal. We had the group AJR, and they sang two of their singles, Yes, I'm a Mess and Bang. Now, when they first said this group, I was like, I don't think I know them. And they started off with Yes, I'm a Mess. And it was really cool because they had a screen in the background, and he was walking on like a treadmill and interacting kind of with the things that were on the screen. Visually, it was really, really cool. Like something that I feel like we're going to see a lot more of, like actual people, kind of like almost like an AI type thing, like people, real people, but like interacting with with images that are, not really there.
Remember
really cool.
Did that treadmill special? Did you remember when they did a similar special?
Yes.
Now he wasn't interacting with but there was the big screen in the background running on the treadmill. It was a really cool effect.
Absolutely. So that was cool. Then they went into their song Bang, and I was like, oh, I remember hearing this on the radio. Yes, let's go out with a bang. I was like, yeah, because the sound they have a really cool modern sound where they, like in this particular performance, they had, basically the regulars, the keys, the drums, the bass, the guitar, but they also had somebody on violin, and they also had somebody on a trumpet. So it was a really, really cool modern sound that they had. And the lead singer sounded really good. And the other two members of the actual group, like the dude on the keys was like, had one hand on his keys and the other one, like he was, they were really enjoying themselves.
Remind me of 80s keys players.
Yes.
Yeah,
so that was a really, really great performance.
Very fun.
Yes. Next we had Miss Tyla, and she sang her hits, Truth or Dare and Water. She's a star. Yeah. She is a star.
I was like, she's giving me Beyonce, Rihanna vibes.
All of it. Like
she's giving me it all.
Yes. Just her confidence on stage. She sounded amazing. And she actually, like, they had this setup, like this, I don't even know what you would call it. It's almost like an open
like proscenium, right? Proscenium.
Come on, college words. Now, can you break down what that actually means for those of us?
It's like the framing of the stage, right?
Yes.
So it's like a proscenium.
Come on, education with
Yes.
water coming down, and by the
got a
end
little
she
bit.
was, come on.
I got a little bit.
Yes, love that.
Education.
Love that. So by the end, she was actually wet. Like she was in the water and doing her little
Oh, she
dance
was
and whatnot.
throwing the umbrella. Didn't it look like that video for
Yes.
That sounds like she was giving me Rihanna
Yeah,
vibe.
it was a wonderful performance.
Yeah, it was great. She
really
killed it.
great. She did excellent. Then we had Earth, Wind, and Fire. Okay, I'll say two things and they both can be true. I'll start with the question. Earth, what? Love y'all. Why did they have Earth, Wind, and Fire? Do they have a new album coming out? Are they touring?
It's you know what?
They just
50 years in the game.
Just respect, huh?
They got
Just
good.
respect.
They got a good booker, right? They got a good person to book their gig.
Come on, management.
50
Come
years
on.
in the game, and and they're fun.
Okay, so
party with
I will segue into their performance.
These gentlemen are in their 70s, y'all.
It was outstanding. They did a medley.
Well, I can't believe Philip Bailey still has that soprano. That falsetto. It's just crazy.
Unbelievable. They did a medley of Boogie Wonderland, Let's Groove in September. And I have to tell you, you are 1000% correct, because my mind can be like, why is Earth, Wind, and Fire here? But I'm on my couch like, yes. And they were like one of the last performances. So at 10:45, I needed something kind of getting me going, before the results.
Exactly.
It was phenomenal. Like the coaches were looking at them like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe after 50 years in the game, y'all are still performing at this level. Yeah. It was absolutely phenomenal. So those were the performances by our guests. Here were our performances by our artists and our coaches. So the show actually started off with, now get this, James. Get this. And I didn't catch this until I went to YouTube to kind of figure out what the song names were and all that kind of thing.
Okay.
The opening of the show was the top 12 artists from this season, which was so great to see our top 12. It was our top, and this is what it says, James. Top 12 and Rudi.
Oh, wow.
And it was. You had Nene, Azan, Kara, Jordan, Mac, Bias, Huntley, Tanner, Jacquie, Mara, Lila, Ruby Lee, and Rudi.
Wow.
So I was really interested about the and Rudi of it all. They did the song Dance the Night by Dua Lipa, and they did a phenomenal job. They each got to sing a part. They had some choreography and whatnot. They were all in their pink. It was Barbie themed. It was a wonderful opening to the show. As I was thinking about, like, I couldn't figure it out. I was like, love that she was there. Good for you, Rudi. Like, great that you were included. But I was just like, and Rudi. Now, this is my thought. I could be completely wrong. Maybe it's a diversity thing. Because Rudi is Hispanic American.
Could be.
Maybe they wanted to have as much representation as possible. That's the only thing that popped into my head.
Right.
But I was so glad to see her and glad she was included, and they did a wonderful job.
Rudi was insanely talented.
And she was, and when people saw her, I saw in the comments, they were like, did Gwen make a mistake letting you go?
Maybe Rudi was still in town. They were like, hey, you want to come?
You want to roll through?
You want to come do this?
An excellent point. So that was fantastic. All four of the coaches did Let It Snow, which they all sounded wonderful. Niall and Huntley did Knocking on Heaven's Door by Guns N' Roses, and it was low-key chill, but it was still, like, it was powerful. It was such a great performance.
Niall was in a very good voice. I mean, Huntley is Huntley, obviously, but Niall was hanging with Huntley. I was like, yo.
Yeah.
You better sing, young man.
Yeah.
That was good.
It was wonderful.
Love that song, too.
Yes. Reba and Jacquie sang together. They sang No One Else on Earth by Winona. So it was cool to hear a Winona.
That song.
I love that song too. And
Yeah,
I forgot that it was
that's one of
Winona
the few
until
Winona songs that I know, and I was like,
yes.
"Oh, I love this song." And
Yeah.
let me tell you something. Reba McEntire is darn near 70 years old, and she's just, again, she looks and sensational. She sounds like a dream.
Yes.
Like usually your voice starts to go down and as you age, but
Yeah.
no, she's just so good. And like Reba, I see now why Reba was so hardcore about the performance because you can't ever take your eyes off Reba. Reba just draws you in. She just has that type of presence on stage. I
She
love it. She's a
absolutely
light.
does.
She really is.
Yes, you can tell that she loves to perform, but when I look at her perform, I can also tell that she takes it very seriously.
Oh yeah.
She
Oh, yeah.
takes it
She
very
don't play.
seriously. She don't play. So that was wonderful. We had Niall and Mara. They sang "Wasted Time" by the Eagles. I think I have to be honest. I would have loved to have heard them sing something different.
Yeah, I get it
I
because
get
it
it
was
too.
dedicated to Mara's mom,
Mhm.
and but it didn't sound so much duet. It may have been the arrangement because
Mhm.
they both sounded fine. They sounded
Yeah.
great on it, but it
Yeah.
just found a little. I just felt a little like like it was a little disjointed. Like it
Yeah.
was two people singing together, and they kind of put the song together.
Right.
I didn't feel like it was more like every other performance. I felt as if it was more of a duet.
Right. Right.
This one was a little disjointed for me.
Right. I think
They sounded great.
yeah, they did. They sounded wonderful. And I'm really glad that she got that moment to sing with him. Because she it's her second coach that she got to sing with. Good for
Yeah, I
her.
think
Good
he's
for
a little
Mara.
smitten with her too.
Yeah.
I think like he lights up with Mara.
Yeah, absolutely. I think anybody would light up,
Yeah.
being around her.
You see
She is a
Mara in
light.
that group number. She can dance. You see her?
Yes,
I was like,
absolutely.
girl, you better do it.
I think that I wanted to see Niall do a song that was a little bit more soulful.
Yeah,
I
because
think that's
he got it.
oh
in his
yeah, he's
voice.
definitely got it.
Yeah,
For
so
sure.
yeah, I agree.
Next, Lila and John sang Sleigh Ride by Ella Fitzgerald, and it was phenomenal. Like I really loved Lila a lot on this song. I will quote you, James. James says she did jazz very well, and she does. Like I was completely captivated by what she was doing vocally,
Yeah,
along with her look. She looked like a star. They looked like they
$1,000,000.
were at some cabaret somewhere.
Right.
The only thing that was interesting was it was voiced very low for my friend John Legend, and
John sounded like he was struggling with the lows.
yeah,
On the parts that weren't as low, he sounded great, sounded like
yeah,
John Legend. But
yeah,
like when it went into the basement, as they say, he was. But you know what? He's such a professional that the untrained ear wouldn't hear it
right,
as much as say me and Stephanie would.
right,
But you could tell that he was covering as a term that they use in music and in voice, that you
yeah,
gotta cover it when you know that you don't have it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
I thought he did a great job doing that.
yes, and at the back end of the song, there were different melodic changes that he was doing to kind of put himself at a little bit of a higher place,
Hmm.
which I thought was really smart because, we hear John Legend do those lows, and his lows tend to be like those ornamental lows. We
Right.
don't hear him often stay there. So I'm curious as to why they picked that key, whether, he was trying to be accommodating to Lila or whether he just wanted to have a lower sound in the song or what was going on. But he worked it out. They worked it out. It was a wonderful, wonderful performance.
Yeah.
And we got happy Ruby Lee. I was so happy. She and Reba did Rocking Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee. And it
I said, you
was
better
so
sing, Ruby. I said, this reminds me of, you know what? I got excited again when I heard Ruby sing this because it reminded me of her blinds, right?
yes.
It reminded like it just reminded me of that. And then when they were doing that yodel thing in their
Yes.
I thought that was very, very cute.
Yes.
And but I was like, yes, yes, yes. Ruby, we're getting like rocking around, I loved it. Loved it. Loved the energy. Loved it.
Yeah. And again, come on set design, come on art department, come on production. They had a full on Christmas carnival going on.
Yes,
like it
I
was
love
spectacular to look at. And I thought that she worked that, Ruby. I thought that she worked all of that so well. She came over to the audience members that were on the side and she was kind of giving them high fives and she had her little two-step going on and it was fantastic. I loved seeing that. I loved that. Yeah.
I'm gonna miss Ruby's dad.
Oh, me too.
I'm gonna miss seeing him with his overalls. I love it. I love it.
Love it.
So he's just a teddy bear. Love that man. Love him.
Absolutely. All right.
Here we go.
Now
we said we had to get down to business. So, I don't know. I felt like I didn't know where it was going to go. Honestly, Stephanie, I was like, this could go any direction.
Yeah.
There were a couple of people who, just because, we've been watching the show for a little bit now, a couple of people I knew probably weren't going to win.
Right.
Because of just how the voting demographic tends to sway on this show. But we could have been pleasantly surprised.
I always love to be pleasantly surprised. And I want to say, while I'm thinking about it, I misspoke in episode 96. I said that we hadn't had, since we had done our show, the Pitchy podcast, that there had not been any people of color in the finals. That's not true. I had a mommy brain slip up. We had D Smooth and we had Nueva last season in the finale. And when I was saying that, completely mom brain. So thank you to the very kind YouTube members or YouTube
friends. And we had Omar in the season before.
And we did have Omar in the season before. You are absolutely right. Thank you for that correction. And we always,
that just came into my head.
Yeah, we are always happy to be corrected because we want to speak truthfully as we are sharing what we feel in love, kindness, and respect. But we also want to be truthful as well. So thank you to those friends on YouTube that corrected me with that. So we'll look and see what happens next season as well. But I wanted to make that correction.
Okay, number 5.
Number 5 was Lila Ford.
That was the one where I was like, you know what? If it was another competition, Lila would be, in my opinion, top 2, top 3.
Yeah.
But I know what this show tends to really like. And Lila had such a unique, specific sound. I don't think that unique and that specific, because she showed a different side of her. If you notice, voting was over, but she showed a different side of her last night with the jazz.
Yes.
Which I loved.
Yes.
Loved. So Lila was number 5. Okay.
Number 4 was Jacquie Roar.
This one broke my heart. I just knew. And on a personal note, I just knew Jacquie was 1 or 2. She was going to go 1 or 2 because I just, Stephanie and I have been following Jacquie's socials, and Jacquie's like the mom of the group, right?
Right.
Like she's the glue. She literally felt like she was the glue of this season.
Yes.
Like everyone, it's like she had a relationship. To me, it seemed like she had a personal relationship with every person, every staff, every crew. Like she just seemed like that type of person. And that's not even talking about how insanely talented this woman is.
Right.
And how she gave probably pound for pound one of the greatest finale performances I've ever seen on this show. Like both of her performances were just grand slam home runs.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, 1000%. 1000%. Number 3, Mara Justine.
Again, shocked. And I don't know why, because I was like, people got to go home. Everybody gotta go
Exactly.
home
There's
for one
only
person.
5 spots and they're all awesome. So it's like, oh.
Just again, yeah, wow, 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 wow. I thought, and again, because of like also having Niall as your coach, because
Yeah.
remember, she was not, if y'all remember, Mara was not originally with Niall. She was originally with John and got
That's right.
stolen
That's right.
by Niall. And yeah, well, this one shocked me. That one shocked me. Again, there were, to me, there were like 3 people that specifically, like, I felt like they just kept getting better and better.
Right.
Like I want to see one more performance with a certain group of people, because I was like, well, what are you going to do next?
Right.
I was saying that all the way to the end, and Mara was one of them.
Yeah, she was definitely hitting her stride at the back end of the season, which is where you want to.
Correct.
When America starts voting. So yeah.
And then there are 2.
We were down to Rudi, Leigh, and Huntley.
The last gentleman, remind you, I didn't even notice that Huntley was the only gentleman also in the last 5.
That's right.
Final 5.
That's right. Last man standing.
Last man standing, truly. And now, again, in my head, I can say, Stephanie, I don't know how you felt. I was like, this can go either way.
Oh,
this can go
1,000%
way, because of voting, because of performances, because of whatever. I don't know why people choose what they choose. They choose what they like, right?
Absolutely.
Drawn to, and why shouldn't you?
Right.
Right. So. The winner was
Huntley.
All's right in the world.
Mm-hmm.
All's right in the world. Stephanie and I said this. If you watched yesterday's episode, like, we were going bananas over his offering of Creed's Higher. And to me, that was the crown performance of the season.
Absolutely.
It was other people left it on the stage, but I think it was heightened because it was the final performance of the night.
Absolutely.
So we can give all these conspiracy theories. I know people think them, and like, okay, well, who determines order and blah, 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 blah. And Stephanie even brought notice. She said, did you notice order was shifted for the second go around of the songs? And Huntley closed the show. Well, a song like that song needs to close a show.
Yeah.
I don't care what. Like, it needs to. It's like when Jacquie closed the show with. Well, when she did when Jacquie did her save, right?
Yes.
When she sang Heart, right?
Yeah.
It was one. It's like one of those songs. You gotta end it with that. It's like your exclamation point.
It's a TV show.
Point blank, period.
It's a TV show. And we would have left that episode on Monday night being like, why was that not last? That had to have been first or last. And because of the setup and all that, it makes sense for it to be last, because trying to break something down like that and, do another performance is a whole thing. So yeah, it just made sense for that to be last production wise. And I'm sure that it did have some influence in the results.
On a personal note, Huntley, you stole America's heart because you let your heart be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
And you led with your heart. And I think you touched a lot of people with your realness and your vulnerability, which still, unfortunately, is taboo with male and female stereotypes. Dudes aren't supposed to cry. Dudes are supposed to be tough and stoic. But no. I love that you just showed all of you and the real you. And it was just wonderful to see and you are insanely talented. And the Pitchy podcast is going to claim you, Huntley, because Fredericksburg, Virginia is a part of the DMV.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's like right there, halfway between Washington, D.C. and Richmond, Virginia.
Mhm.
But, sir, we're going to
You
claim
ours.
you. I can get there in a very short amount of time. So if I can get to you, Huntley, Stephanie can get to you in a short amount of time, in under 2 hours, we're going to claim you.
You belong to us.
Now, we can get to Philly in 2 hours, where Stephanie's from.
That's right.
But we can't claim Philly because Philly's Philly.
It's true. It's true.
But we're going to claim you for the DMV, Huntley.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's a win for the DMV.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Huntley, congratulations, dude.
Yes.
You deserve all the flowers. Like you really, really do.
Mhm.
You have been sensational from start to finish. It
Absolutely.
has been just, you have put together you put together an amazing narrative. You put together a complete package, and you are so deserving. And congratulations to Ruby Leigh.
Absolutely.
Who just, again, from the beginning, just came out slaying.
Yes.
We were like, who is this beautiful? I'm not even going to call you a freak of nature, Ruby, because I don't want you to think that that's bad, but who is this beautiful creation?
Yes.
With this 42-year-old singing voice and a 16-year-old body.
Yeah.
It was just, you had a stellar season as well.
Absolutely.
Highlights for me with Huntley, obviously, the Creed
of it all.
Yeah, it was, it was all of it. It was all of it.
Yeah. From beginning to end. From audition to finale.
Yeah. It's just nuts. It was nuts. So that's it, you all. That's the season. I know a lot of you watch the Pitchy podcast that are contestants, both past Hey Everybody and current, or now technically past.
I know, it's past now.
And we always like to extend an invitation out to the current season contestants. We'd love to have you on to talk shop, have a little fun, have a little kiki, as they say.
Spill some tea.
But that's behind the Patreon wall. No, we don't have a Patreon. We're just kidding.
Not yet.
Right.
Not yet.
Right. But no, we'd love to have you all. But in all seriousness, we'd love to have you all on. Please reach out to us at the Pitchy Podcast. Stephanie will give you all of that information. She'll be reaching out to, or we'll be reaching out to you. Our communications department, Stephanie, will be reaching out to you. And we want you to just enjoy the holiday.
Yes. Because we will be.
Because we absolutely will be. So the Pitchy Podcast will not be here next week, or maybe even the week after, but we will be back shortly with some wonderful, wonderful guests, we hope. So contestants of season 24, we'd love to talk to you and have you on. And we'll work around everyone's crazy schedule.
Yes.
We'll make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So Stephanie, I just want to say thank you so much again. Pitchy Podcast would be nothing without you, young lady. Stephanie is not young enough to be my daughter.
No.
But she is nonetheless younger than me. But we ain't that far apart in age. But anyway, no. Stephanie, thank you so much for your heart. You put your heart and soul into this Pitchy Podcast. And there's not enough credit. You are half of the face of the Pitchy Podcast, but you are also the unsung hero of the Pitchy Podcast. And it would be nothing without your dedication and your fortitude and your hard work. So thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Quanticamus, as we used to call it back in the day. We had a high school dance called Quanticamus.
Come on, inclusion.
If you think about it, this was in the 90s, right? So y'all think about, put Quanticamus together and figure out what you get.
There you go.
Happy New Year. Stephanie and I, our in-laws are actually from the same hometown, so we'll be very close to each other during the holiday.
We might need to meet up for a
very
drink.
frigid tundra.
Yes.
Of an
We
area.
might need to meet up for a drink, James.
We might even meet up for a drink because Stephanie, it's funny the how many similarities Stephanie and I.
Yes.
But again, you are my sister. I love you, and what a way to close out season 2020, season 24, and the 2023.
Yes, absolutely. James, this has been such a joy. This would not have happened without you. This whole podcast would not have happened without James. Like literally. I was so on the fence and he just gave me that little to say
She
yes.
was like,
Okay. And we
I was
have
like, Stephanie, how about we do, once we started, we were like, how about we do video? She was like,
It's like, wait a minute, I'm gonna have to put on makeup on top of everything else. I gotta beat this face real quick, but it's been such a joy. This podcast would be literally nothing without you. Your content, your presence is priceless. And the way that you are able to just work around your crazy schedule to show up week in, week out, twice a week, y'all. This is a commitment, okay? James and I have both made a commitment, and it is far more difficult on his end because he is working an actual job. I am blessed
you
enough
are
to
too.
be.
You saw the news report that said how much how much moms make.
Yes,
okay, stay-at-home moms make, and the overtime alone, y'all make $235,000 a year.
I know that's right. I ain't gonna
like,
argue
where
with
has
you.
that been in my check?
Listen, I ain't gonna argue with you. I work very hard. I'm just saying you have to be your flex. I have way more flexibility than you do. So thank you so much for always working in excellence, for coming just with yourself and your knowledge and your presence and your expertise. I wouldn't want to do this podcast on a regular without you. So thank you so much. And Merry Christmas to you and yours.
You know what? And we need to always send a special thank you out to your hubby.
Yeah.
Mr. Matt, thank you so much for pinch hitting for me. And Justin Aaron.
Justin, bro. Yes.
You're a lifesaver and we love you. Thank you so much. You and Stephanie need to take your show on the road. I was in my tropical undisclosed location talking about, oh, snap. Oh, just about to take that spot.
Yes. It was fantastic. I really appreciated both of them. And a great compliment that my husband said before we get out of here is that he was like, I could do this every now and again. He didn't even really say that. He was like, I can do this if you ever need me, basically. But he was like doing this week in and week out, twice a week. He's like, it's a lot of hard work. He was like, I couldn't do it. So, and I just think that our rapport just makes it so easy and so fun. It is one of the best parts of my week, and being able to see folks interacting back with us just brings us so much joy when you all comment and share our content and think we're funny and whatever. We just really, really appreciate that.
Stephanie, do you know that I just thought about something. We have known each other for a decade now. 10 years.
10 years.
Before babies.
Yeah.
Before spouse.
Yep. Well, I think I was in spouse.
Yeah, no, you were in spouse. I'm talking about, that's why I raised my hand. Spouse. I said singular spouse.
Yes.
Come on, teacher.
Yes.
No, before spouse.
Yes.
Gosh, there's been so much life.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank God every day for you, sis. I really, really do.
Let's do 10 more.
You are a dear, dear friend.
Let's do 10 more.
No, beyond friend. You are my sister. You are my sister.
Absolutely. Feel the same way.
All right, you all. All right. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. You see my Christmas tree? Yeah. We are. We're getting ready. We
are. Oh, Lord, don't even go there. Stephanie, tell the pitchers what they need to hear.
So don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Pitchy Podcast on your favorite podcast platform so you can be the first to know when we drop a new episode, and also check us out on YouTube. Please search for the Pitchy Podcast and hit that subscribe button so you know when we drop a new video. And last, do not forget to follow us on Instagram at the Pitchy Podcast for new episode alerts, episode clips, and so much more.
Bye, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Bye-bye.